It's a spectacularly beautiful day here in Gainesville, Florida, on the campus of the University of Florida, and we are at the Stephen C. O'Connell Center for exciting SEC gymnastics competition as our host Florida welcomes Arkansas, UNC, and West Virginia in an exciting quadrangular competition. Hi everyone, I'm Bart Connor, and welcome inside the O'Connell Center. This is the third in a series of 3 events, SEC gymnastics. We've already been to Georgia, we've been to LSU, and today we are at Florida. We are going to see a terrific competition that'll be something like a 4-ring circus. There will be 4 teams competing simultaneously on all 4 different pieces of apparatus. Each team will use 6 athletes to compete on each event: the bars, the beam, floor exercise, and the vault. Only the top 5 scorers count towards the team title on each apparatus. And I'm joined, as always, by my fellow Olympic medalist, Kathy Johnson-Clark. We're in for a great day, and once again, it's great to be in the SEC. This is a powerful conference.
An unbelievable conference. 3 of the SEC teams are in the top 5. You cannot get any stronger than that.
Well, let's talk about our host, of course, University of Florida. Rhonda Fain has only been here 4 years, and she is really building a strong program.
Really incredibly dynamic program. By that, I mean year after year after year, she improves on this squad. This year in particular, she is trying to improve the difficulty level on all of the events, which is risky, but she's hoping it pays off big in the end. Now they're just trying to perfect and bring it all together. Corey Hartung, wow, what an amazingly beautiful gymnast. Her form is impeccable. She's classy, elegant. I think you're really going to enjoy this gymnast.
Now, one of their top competitors today is 21st ranked Arkansas, and the Cooks have done a great job developing that program as well.
Mark and Renee Cook, who coached at Stanford for years, started from nothing at Arkansas. They built them an amazing program, and they have been building from scratch. This is their 4th year, so their first graduating class, and it's just now starting to come together for them.
Now, we're in for a treat today because from North Carolina, we'll see this young lady, Courtney Bumper. She is something special.
Very powerful. 2-time defending national champion on the floor exercise. In fact, she scored a 10 at the Super 6 finals to clinch the title last year. You're in for a treat with this one.
All right, what about West Virginia? They are ranked 32nd in the country right now, but they are really improving.
Well, you look at their scores from meet to meet, they're improving greatly. They're led by a dynamic gymnast, Janae Cox. She has the top all-around score in the EAGL, and they're just hoping to build on the scores.
All right, well, we're in for a terrific day of gymnastics here from the University of Florida. As I said, it'll be a 4-ring circus featuring 4 of the top teams in the country. Terrific gymnastics coming up next on ESPN2. Inside the Stephen C. O'Connell Center here in Gainesville, Florida, for this quadrangular competition between Arkansas, North Carolina, West Virginia, and our host, Florida. Good crowd on hand. We'll see 4 rotations of competition. Florida will open up on the vault. That is the preferred order, and that is the benefit of being the host competitor. Arkansas will go on the bars, North Carolina on the floor, and West Virginia on the beam. Here is the lineup for Arkansas on the uneven bars: Hannah McLeod, Katie Hardman, Samantha Cortez, Cassie Drew, Melissa Lee, and Emily Peacock. 6 women compete on each apparatus. Just the top 5 scores count towards their team total. For Florida on the vault, Brianne King, Corey Hartung, Ashley Reed, Katie Rue, Nicola Willis, and the spectacular Tiffany Murray will be their lineup there. A very deep team for the Florida Gators. And there is Corey Hartung, as you said at the top of the show, Kathy Johnson-Clark. She is spectacular. The 2003 and 2004 USA national team member. She can do it all.
Absolutely. This isn't the event that she can show off her elegance and flexibility, but she'll show why she's a strong all-around competitor. Yurchenko laid out the full twist. The best part of the vault is her form. Legs perfectly together. Perfectly straight, and a very, very strong landing.
Her high score this year so far, a 9.825, so she has possibilities of getting 9.8 to 10 on every apparatus.
This vault is worth a 10.0 in the Coda point. She's a little bit low, so she had to pipe down. Those will be slight deductions. Again, as I said, this is not her strongest event. It's a good event, but her strongest events are later in the competition.
Next up will be Ashley Reed, the sophomore out of Davie, Florida. She's one of the co-captains on this team. She scored as high as 9.875 on the vault. That is her season high so far. She comes from Orlando Metro Gymnastics, just down the road. And, of course, Jeff Wood is the coach there and has created so many wonderful athletes, members of the national team, as well as terrific college athletes.
But what we want to look for is the overall dynamics on the vault. You want to see good speed, good run. Most of the gymnasts are doing the round-off entry vault now, which gives them a lot of power. Right here off the horse, much higher vault. Just overall, it was a more dynamic vault, a little higher after flight. She traveled further away from the horse. Her landing was not quite as good as Corey Hartung's.
Quickly over to the uneven bars where the University of Arkansas is competing. Katie Hardman from Buda, Texas, the senior, getting set to go. As we mentioned, this is a 4-ring circus, so 4 events going simultaneously.
And out of the corner of my eye, I saw their first gymnast fall on the event. Puts a little bit of pressure on all of the remaining competitors, but that's what team gymnastics is all about. Picking up if someone has a fall, they can just buckle down, hit the rest of the routines. But there's no denying it adds a little extra pressure. On this event, the judges are really looking for that handstand position. They need to be vertical, completely vertical, as they do the pirouetting moves or pass up to the handstand. Of course, look for the exciting release moves.
Katie Hartman, she battled injuries in 2005, had a concussion, and she was in a car accident, and so she has had her share of challenges, but she's a technically very sound gymnast. She is now ready to go on the bars for Arkansas.
Nice good release move. Flexed her feet just a little bit right as she flew backwards over the bar. All of those transitions, the judges are looking for them to land right in the handstand position. Full pirouette to a tough double flyaway. Strong routine.
They needed a strong score there. Their first performer, as you mentioned, Hannah McLeod, had a fall, only an 8.35 for Arkansas in their first performance.
They can drop that low score, provided the remaining scores are all above that, as they should be.
To the vault now for Florida. Quick update on their scores. Brianne King had a 9.8. Corey Hartung a 9.775. We saw that vault. Ashley Reed a 9.875. And Katie Rue a 9.85. So Florida off to a strong start on the vault. Typically, the vault scores are a little higher than, let's say, the bars and the beams. So Florida is not only the top-ranked team here, but they're starting on a high-scoring event. A little bit harder to get good scores on the beam and the bars based on the technical requirements. Slightly easier to get a good score on the vault.
More room for error on those other events as well. Big vault, the good landing. There's the landing. Again, that's out of a 10.0. There's talk in collegiate gymnastics that they would like to devalue that vault because there are some gymnasts who are able to add another twist to it, a 1.5 twist or a double twist, and they'd really like to see that and see it rewarded. As it stands now, nobody's going to throw more because you don't need to. You can do this vault. It's out of a 10, easier to stick, but it's going to make it harder and harder for the judges to separate the gymnasts.
4 of 5 titles in 2006. She only lost one meet, and that was to Ashley Miles, the NCAA champion on the vault. So we will go back to Arkansas, and this is Samantha Cortez. The score for Katie Hartman before her was a 9.7.
When I talked to Coach Mark Cook before the competition, what does he want? He wants consistency. He really wants his team to start hitting routines. He says they're doing good gymnastics. We're seeing that. Just really need to get consistent.
Cortez more known for her tumbling, but she scored as high as 9.7 on the bars this season.
Right on top of, oh no, that is unlucky. She had the dismount. Looked like she was locked her knees a little bit. Hips were behind the feet. 5 0.4 of a point off for a fall.
Now talk about the team element here, because they had one mistake with Hannah McLeod, only an 8.35, so you can drop one low score, but you can't drop two.
No.
So you're going to have to count that score.
This is the one that's going to count. She did it nicely. See how she just pulls her feet all the way underneath her and over-rotated. Oh, that's a shame.
We'll come back with her score as we look at Rhonda Fain. Her charges off to a great start on the vault. The number 5 ranked team in the country, looking good so far here in the first rotation. Don't go away. And welcome back to this University of Florida crowd. They're enjoying that. They got the Gator Chop going. A lot of young gymnasts on hand. They're thrilled to be on ESPN2. Arkansas struggling a little on the bars. Cassie Drew came up with a big 9.8, which was critical after having 2 lower scores earlier in the rotation. Let's take a look at their 4 scores, and as we mentioned over and over, 6 per event. The top 5 scores count towards a team total, so they will have to count that 9.2 in their team total. Melissa Lee now will be up. She's a senior out of Orlando, Florida, just down the road. And another gymnast from Orlando Metro Gymnastics Club.
She's all SEC on this event and scored a first best last week on a 9.8. They need that right now. Nice combination of moves. Really want to see the back-to-back difficulty, combining the difficult skills. Here comes a dismount, big swing, and a double layup. They needed that. That's huge.
Beautiful exercise. Melissa Lee coming up big for Arkansas when they needed it, folks. Wow.
She really picked up momentum on these swings. Nice laid out position, and best of all, a stuck landing. She had a nice combination of pirouetting moves right into her release.
There is Mark Cook. He and his wife Renee just in their 4th year. As you mentioned, Kathy, former coaches at Stanford who started the program in Fayetteville, and they've done a fantastic job already, averaging more than 4,000 people at their home meets. Their record this year, 3-6, 0-2 in the SEC. This is the halfway point of the season. Now they're averaging about 3.5 points behind Florida, but they hope to get a win today. So here are the huge scores for Florida on the vault. What a start. And as we saw, Tiffany Murray with that vault got a 9.925. So the lowest score for Florida on the vault is the 9.775 of Hartung, which will be dropped. Outstanding first rotation for the 5th ranked team in the country. The final performer for Arkansas on the bars will be Emily Peacock. Melissa Lee's score was a 9.85. Clutch performance.
Nice. Very good. Well done. Nice move to the low bar. Nice variation of skills in this routine. More difficulty than we've seen thus far. Needs to nail the lane. There it is. Now they're back on track. This is what they wanted from the start.
2 clutch performances for Arkansas. Peacock, just a sophomore. She's a leader. Very highly recruited and one of the most consistent performers on their team. Janae Cox will be up for West Virginia. She's getting ready on the balance beam. Quick update on their scores coming into her performance. Amy Bouchier had a 9.7. Erica Watson a 9.125. Gretchen Ritker a 9.525.
Obviously looking to drop the 9.125.
Cheryl Goldenfield had a 9.7.
Pretty decent scores there. This is their weakest event as a team. They scored their season high the last competition, though, at 48.45. I'm sure they'd like to better that here.
The head coach at West Virginia, Linda Burdett's in her 32nd year. 5 times she's been the conference coach of the year. 3 times they've made it to the NCAA championships. This has been a 5-year absence, however, from the final meet of the year, and there is sort of a goal for this team that maybe they could finally get back into that NCAA championship. At a season high of a 195-1, which is a score that just might be good enough if they could continue to be consistent to get them into the NCAA championships.
It really is the key, Bart. You've got to hit your routines, no matter how much difficulty you pack in them. Can't give away deductions, and you got to hit, double back. Good, strong difficulty there in the routine, especially ending with a double back.
Here are the floor exercise scores so far as we get ready for the floor exercise routine of Courtney Bumpers. You can see their scores range from a low 9.45 up to a 9.825 for Christine Robella. This will be a treat, Kathy. Just about everything about her is fantastic. She's a wonderful NCAA champion, 2 times on the floor. 3-time All-American. She can score a 10. Maybe we'll see one today. Talked to her coach, Derek Galvin. He's in his 25th year at North Carolina, and he said she can even do more difficulty that she hopes to debut later in the season. Was she out?
Looks like she stayed in. I don't see a flag going up.
Right on the line. If you go out of bounds, it's a 1/10 of a point, plus a 1/10 of a point for the big step. Made it to the NCAA championships, and in fact in 2004 they missed it by 25 thousandths of a point.
Look, can she tumble? Wow.
Courtney Bumpers from Stone Martin, Georgia, trained at the Atlanta School of Gymnastics in her club gymnastics program. Kathy, I believe you spent a few years there with Tom Cook.
Absolutely. Wonderful years there.
Courtney Bumpers off to a spectacular start. More exciting gymnastics coming up next. North Carolina likes it. Don't go away. There she is, folks, SEC Athlete of the Week, the freshman sensation from Florida, Corey Hartung. She'll be coming up next on the uneven bars. We rejoin the competition here, this quadrangular meet between Florida, Arkansas, North Carolina, and West Virginia. I'm Bart Connor, along with Kathy Johnson-Clark in this 4-ring circus of gymnastics in Gainesville. Corey Hartung, originally from Irwin, Pennsylvania. She did most of her elite training at Hills Gymnastics in Maryland with the famous Kelly Hill and Jen Bundy. This will be a chance, perhaps, Kathy, to really see the exquisite qualities of her gymnastics.
Yes, and her technique. You can see how well she's been trained. Where she can show off her good lines, toe point. Look at the toe point. Gorgeous. Very much like Svetlana Hoykina, a great Russian gymnast who recently retired, Olympic world champion. Just beautiful work. Exquisite. I love it. And a very difficult double back dismount. That is a great routine.
Lots of difficulty in that exercise, more than she needed to do.
And a variety. It's not all the same. Very unique quality on this event. Gorgeous.
And quickly to the vault, Jennifer Valby, the freshman for North Carolina.
And they really need some bigger scores. They've got a 9.475 they'd like to drop. It was a good vault, not huge. We've seen that vault. Yurchenko laid out with a full twist, done bigger. Let's see her block position. This is the most crucial part of the vault. When the hands make contact with the horse, you really want to get a straighter body angle, straighter angle in the shoulder so you can maximize your potential to block off the horse and really get it up in the air for a huge vault.
Her high score of the year so far, a 9.85. Expect a slightly lower score there for the freshman. Let's go over to the floor and see how West Virginia is doing. Janae Cox now on the floor for West Virginia. We saw her in the vault. First rotation score a 9.725.
Scored a 9.925 last week on this event. She's an EAGL season high.
She was the gymnast of the week last week. She's been that 6 times.
I like the music.
Recruited young lady that the Mountaineers landed. See her teammates cheering her on. She's from Otisco, Indiana, a town of 400 people. She has about that many teammates. Oh!
Had a couple rough landings. She pulled them out, but they just weren't quite perfect.
She, last week against Penn State, did not do the floor exercise because she's been dealing with some injuries. Rachel Barnett, the junior out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, coming up on the beam for Arkansas. A young lady I know quite well because she did her club gymnastics at the Bart Conner Gymnastic Academy in Norman, Oklahoma. I'm proud of Rachel. She's a junior.
Their leadoff gymnast, Emily Peacock, scored a 9.7, got them off to a very strong start.
She earned the title of the most improved at Arkansas in the 04-05 season. She has struggled with an ACL injury. Known for her powerful, explosive tumbling. Normally competes on 3 events for Arkansas, the bars, beam, and the floor. Floor is an event where she really shines.
With a very tight competition between North Carolina and Arkansas. Very close for second place behind Florida.
She thought last year she might have made the NCAA championships as an all-around qualifier, but a tie-breaking procedure kept her just out of the competition.
Very nice. So far, so good for Arkansas and beam.
Their first score was a 9.7 for Emily Peacock. Cassie Drew had a 9.75, so solid for Arkansas on the pressure beam event.
Doing exactly what coaches want. They want hit routines.
This is Samantha Lutz, the junior from the University of Florida out of Grove City, Ohio. She has the capabilities of scoring big here. She scored as high as 9.9 already this year on the uneven bars.
I'm a little shocked by Corey Hartong's score.
Yeah, that was a little low, wasn't it?
9.875. I definitely would have gone 9.9.
Score for Ashley Reed from Florida. Whoa. Reed's score was a 9.85.
Florida has one fall on bars. Of course, that's the score they would like to drop. 9-1-5. Very unexpected fall. Nicola Willis missed her release move. Looked like she had it. This routine's going strong. Laid out, full twist and double back. Good difficulty. Little step on the landing.
Beautiful. Full twist on that double layout. She was an All-American on the beam in her freshman year, 2004.
This is the event where Rhonda really wants them to work on their form, clean up everything. They've got the difficulty right where they want it. Just need to clean up every tiny little thing.
There is Courtney Bumpers. Has scored a 9.875 as her high score so far this year on the beam. Bright young lady has intent to go to law school. In fact, she's applying to Harvard right now, keeping her fingers crossed that she'll get in.
Very nice fall. Unfortunately, she brought her head forward right at the end, and that forced her into a slight over rotation, had to take a step. If she had just trusted it, which is hard to do, easier for me to say sitting here, but leave her head back, feel for the floor. She could have come up with a stuck landing.
Brianne King now ready to go on the bars for Florida. Quick recap on their scores. Samantha Lutz had a 9.75, so as you mentioned, they need one more solid performance here so they can drop the low 9.15 of Nicola Willis.
It's really amazing how this event has changed over the years, Bart. Really has allowed taller gymnasts to do the uneven bars, do them well, get big swing. You've got a lot more room between the rails. Oh, she pulled that in tight. I think her toenails scraped as she went by.
Brianne King cutting it close.
Coach Randy Lane probably had his heart skip a few beats right there. He thought he was going to have to jump in and grab her.
The score, by the way, for Rachel Barnett from Arkansas on the beam, we saw her performance was a 9.65. Courtney Bumpers, we saw her vault. That was a 9.85.
Very nice combination into the release move. Needs to clean up her form just a little bit. She's losing her toe point, and her legs need to stay straighter and more together.
Dana McQuillan, the senior out of West Orange, New Jersey, will be next for Arkansas on the balance beam. This is an event where she excels. She's the first gym back, as they call them, the Lady Razorbacks, to make the NCAA championships. She did it in the all-around. She's a very steady performer. Did her club gymnastics at North Stars with our good friends Tony and Paula Gaiman, who have also contributed many young gymnasts to collegiate ranks as well as the national team. She scored as high as a 9.8 so far this year on the beam.
Putting up the front aerial. Teeny little balance check. She wanted to go directly into this series. And another little balance check. Nice shot of the footwork on the balance beam. It's always important to remind you of just how narrow that balance beam is. A little bit under 4 inches. Very nice dismount combination. Nice landing. Very elegant routine.
Really steady performance for Arkansas on the beam. Nothing really spectacular, but no disasters there as well. All their scores ranging between 9.65 and 9.75. So we'll be back with more gymnastics here from Gainesville, Florida. Don't go away. Another beautiful day here in Gainesville, Florida, as this women's gymnastics competition continues here at the Stephen C. O'Connell Center. Here are the standings after the second rotation, basically the halfway point in the competition. Our host, Florida, comfortably in the lead over North Carolina, Arkansas, and West Virginia. Rhonda Fain is the head coach at Florida. Interesting note that in the 25 years of the NCAA program dating back to 1982, only 4 teams have won the team title: Utah, UCLA, Georgia, and Alabama. Head coach Rhonda Fain says someday she expects the Gators to be the champions as well.
I do have the plan, the goal, and I think that Florida has every chance in the world and to be the 5th school ever to win a national championship. You know, it's still hard to believe that there's only 4 schools that have ever done that. I want Florida to be that 5th school. And this year's team, I feel, is definitely the most talented and the strongest that Florida's had so far. And my goal is to continue to keep building and to keep building the talent and the strength of the athletes that are coming in, and to be able to prove to everyone out there that we have that capability of winning those titles. I feel right now that our difficulty on floor could match any other team in the country. It's a matter, like I said, of coming down to getting the landings perfectly. I think that our beam could challenge and match anybody's in this country, for sure. Same with vault, but again, it comes down to the landings. I think that, and it's difficult because every event, I feel, is pretty even. Probably our lowest depth is on bars right now, and that you know, you always need a little bit of depth, a little just in case, and that's where we are probably a little bit weak right now on that. But we do have difficult dismounts on bars, and it's just coming down to, again, fine-tuning, getting every handstand all the way up and getting all the landings stuck. So it's I feel like we're pretty well-rounded all the way around, but I would say that our biggest area of increase has been our difficulty on floor.
Rhonda Fain focusing on the details, as she mentioned at the top of the show. Not just high level of difficulty, but precise technique and execution. That leads to high scores, especially in college gymnastics, where the rules are slightly different than the elite level. Corey Hartung now should be pivotal if Florida hopes to make it to that championship level. She has it all, Kathy.
If all of the gymnasts can have her form, this is exactly what Coach Rhonda Fain is talking about. She needs clean gymnastics so you don't give away tenths of a point. This is the event where Corey can really show off all of her attributes. She is so flexible, very elegant. So if she can hit her difficulty, this quality is difficult to challenge. Look at that, just gorgeous balance, flexibility. Somewhat of a lost art these days in the sport of gymnastics, with so much emphasis placed on difficulty and on big tricks.
Good point. The rules here in collegiate gymnastics a little bit different than the Olympic level. Not as much difficulty required, so really it comes down to execution and clean landings. There's a lot more parity in collegiate gymnastics than we see in Olympic gymnastics.
Very nice. 2.5 twist, dismount. Gorgeous routine.
Boy, just about everything about her gymnastics has that elite look, doesn't it? The senior from Stone Mountain, Georgia, Courtney Bumpers. We've already seen her perform today. Get a 9.925 on the floor. Not bad.
You should have seen her rallying the team before this event. She had them all huddled together. She was pointing to the bars and pointing to everybody, getting them charged up.
And a 9.85 on the vault.
Didn't quite hit the handstand, it collapsed a little bit. Dismount double front. Oh, did she stick that dismount?
And that's a tough dismount to stick.
I didn't think she was going to. It looked like she was going to over-rotate, but she just stuck those feet in the mat and didn't move.
Quickly to the vault. As we said, this is a 4-ring circus, folks. Janae Cox getting ready to go on the vault.
Another good landing. That's what you need to see. Don't give the judges the opportunity to pick their pencil up and take a 1/10 of a point off for a little step or a little hop. Nail the landing.
Well, this is basically the midway point in the season, so we're seeing better execution than we saw early on, right,
Absolutely,
Kathy?
Absolutely. They're getting more accustomed to meet landings. They're landing on hard mats more often.
To the beam now. For the University of Florida, Samantha Lutz, we saw her on the bars earlier. She had a 9.75.
Florida went 6 for 6 in their last meet. You know, they're hoping to do that as well, and they're off to just a terrific start. Nailing these routines.
I was talking to Robert Ladani, one of their assistants, along with Ray Lane, and they said they have 2 meets this year where they didn't count 1 mistake. Most recently, their season high was a 196.6 versus Georgia. It was held here in the O'Connell Center, and they had more than 8,000 people in attendance for that. Florida has only 2 losses this season, 1 to Alabama and 1 to Georgia, which can be expected here in the SEC.
They have the 3rd toughest schedule of competition behind LSU and Georgia, meaning they've scheduled more top teams to compete against in their regular season meets.
Finished just out of the Super 6 last year at the championships, 7th place as a team.
Tumbling down the length of the beam all the way to dismount, slightly off to the side. We have the best angle to see that, however.
That was great.
You don't have a judge sitting right on the end of the beam, but I'm sure they could see she was a little bit off center, but a nice dismount pass. That's fun. Just go right down the length of the beam. I like that because you can be slightly off on that layup, but who cares? You're going off the beam anyway. Right into the dismount.
Smart routine design for Samantha Lutz. So Florida looking good here in this quadrangular meet. Don't go away. We're waiting on the gator chop. Florida will be on the floor in the next rotation. On the beam for Florida, Chantel Tusek from Cambridge, Ontario. All-American on the vault. She scored as high as a 9.8 on this event in this season.
I like her on this event. She does unique choreography.
Gymnastics fans might remember her sister Yvonne, who competed for UCLA. She was the 2001 NCAA bars champ. Two sex are both known for creative, unusual gymnastics.
We're both coached by famous Elvira Sadi years ago. A Soviet great, back when it was the Soviet Union. A unique from start to finish. And on top of everything, she speaks 4 languages fluently: English, French, Czech, Spanish, and a little bit of Russian.
And on top of that, she's 5'8" tall. She's a head taller than almost everybody in the competition. Quick update on the scores on the vault for West Virginia. You see the low score of 8.95 will be dropped, but otherwise pretty solid scores. Janae Cox had a 9.875. Jamie Gold a 9.8. On the uneven bars for North Carolina, unfortunately, 2 scores in the 8s. That will hurt their team chances here today because 1 low score can be dropped, but they will have to count the 8.95 of Elise Shue. Arkansas to the floor. As Rachel Barnett gets a few last-minute pointers. This is an event where she really shines for the Gymbacks. Barnett recently engaged. Happy for her.
Pretty solid scores for Arkansas. One low score they'd like to drop, a 9.125. Rest of the scores between 9.7, 9.75. Touchdown. Not quite a fall, but almost. Big deduction.
Barnett has been dealing with a torn ACL a couple of years ago, which has hampered some of her difficulty. Typically, floor exercise, one of the best events for Arkansas.
On the first pass, she's not going to equal or match her season best that she scored last week at 9.825. The rest of her team was pretty solid, though. Come on, too bad. This turned out to be the best pass in the floor routine. Pike double back at the end of the routine. Good difficulty. Pulled it around. Had much better luck on the landing.
You wonder how tough gymnastics is. Well, it's all pretty tough, but these young ladies are remarkable athletes. A few minutes ago, Elise Shue for North Carolina took this really brutal fall.
What hurt most was her calves coming down on the bar. Surprisingly, landing on your back is no big deal for a gymnast, but look at that. That hurts.
She normally competes in a couple of events. She's been working her way into the lineup for North Carolina. Former club gymnast at the Marvatines. She was the junior Olympic champion in 2003 on the bars. It just didn't go as she had planned today. It looks like she's okay. Glad to see Elise Shue doing just fine. Emily Peacock now on the floor. The sophomore who is a leader, where they're more consistent. And she is known to be a real crowd pleaser on this event. High score for the year, a 9.825.
She really performs her choreography, which is nice. Goes all out. Connects with the crowd.
Score for Rachel Barnett for Arkansas on the floor was a 9.275.
Just pulled out that landing.
Good save. And she's selling it, isn't she? Way to go.
What, land low? Me?
Kathy, you excelled on the floor. I mean, you're focused on your elements, the technical requirements, but how difficult is it to get into the routine and really sell it like she's doing?
That was my favorite part. You connect with your music, with your audience, and you commit. No matter what, commit to the choreography. And it'll usually come across. And that's the best part of her routine, is the fact that she just goes all out, puts it out there for the audience, and she's enjoying herself.
Arkansas needed a strong performance from Emily Peacock, and they got it. They had 2 lower scores.
And just pulls that out. Thank goodness for strong quads. Whoa, she's right on that edge.
Just on the line, but she saved it. More gymnastics coming up when we come back to Gainesville, Florida. Welcome back. The standings after the third of 4 rotations. Florida, as expected, in the lead. But how about that, folks? West Virginia in second place. That's a little bit of a surprise. And they're coming up on their best event. There is Linda Burdett in her 32nd season at West Virginia. This year, they're 5-3-0. One of the deepest teams she's ever had. She's pleased that there's a blend of upper and underclassmen. 12 returning letter winners. They only lost 4. So Linda Burdett happy with her team to this point. Sabrina Noonan, the junior out of St. Charles, Illinois, will be next on the uneven bars, and this is their best event.
Absolutely. So it's a good place for them to end and to be in this position. But keep in mind, Arkansas over on the vault, that tends to be a higher scoring event, so it's going to be tough.
Their high score this year was a 9-6.
There's a little bit of form, but she nabbed that release move.
Great opportunity for West Virginia to make a name for themselves here with these higher teams.
Pulls off a hit routine. Had some deductions in there, but she hit the routine. That's what it's all about at this point. You want to do what you do in the gym during practice, hit it into the competition under pressure.
To the floor. Brianne King, now the junior from Canada. Ready to go. She loves hockey. Well, of course, she's from Canada. Who doesn't love hockey?
You're not allowed to not like hockey if you're from Canada, I don't think.
She can score about an average of 9-8 in every event. She's a real solid contributor to this team at Florida. Their first performer up was Katie Rue. She had a 9.8. Supplemental mat there. That's called a sting mat. It's to take the sting out of your ankles when you land wrong, and it's perfectly legal. It's a safety factor.
It could be called a non-sting mat, though. Technicality. Competing extremely well in this competition.
Florida's high score so far this season, a 196.6 versus Georgia. Their average is about 195.34. Dana McQuillan for Arkansas on the vault now.
Answering from Pike. Pretty good landing, a little bit off to the side, but she's happy with it.
And we'll come back with her score as well. as the scores for the rest of the athletes, including Breanne King from Florida. Everybody's looking for a 10. Are we going to see one tonight? Maybe. Samantha Lutz getting ready to go for Florida on the floor. Let's update on their scores. As we mentioned, Katie Rue had a 9.8. Breanne King, you saw that great routine, a 9.825.
Keep in mind, they've added a lot of difficulty to their routines, particularly on this event. They wanted to upgrade. It was worth the risk. They wanted to pay off. Against Georgia, they had 4 out of bounds. That's 0.4 of a point, and it was a very close, great competition. Obviously, that's something you don't want to do. You want to stay in bounds. Don't give away that 1/10 of a point.
Kathy, you recognize the music?
Yes, I do, but we're going to age ourselves if we...
Okay, just drop it.
Okay.
He's had a good meet so far, 9.875 from Florida on the beam. 9.75 on the bar. Coach Rhonda Fain thinks this is the most talented team she's had so far in her 4 years at Florida. She feels they can match nearly anybody in difficulty, especially on this event of 4.
She's happy. And we have to tell everybody, of course, who we were talking about, if anybody remembers, Paul Hunt, one of the funniest comic gymnasts, did an hysterical routine to this music.
Back to the uneven bars now for West Virginia. Janae Cox coming up.
After big combination right here. Nice pirouette. The Giants. So far, so good. Boy, they are really competing well on this event. Hitting everything. Good handstands. Not the highest level of difficulty, but what they need here, just clean, solid routines. Good dismount.
All right, her high score for the year so far on the bars was a 9.875 for the young lady who is one of their team captains. Can they hang on to second place? It's going to be close. Cassie Drew ready to go on the vault for Arkansas. We're going back and forth in this 4-ring circus. A lot going on here in Gainesville.
Well, they are pumped up. They know it's close. They have to fight for every single 1/10 of a point.
Their final performer, Samantha Cortez.
Bam! Very strong vault rotation for Arkansas. Not perfect landings, but very, very good landings.
Solid scores. They've had 2 9.7s, a 9.75. Audra Lovelace, 9.8. And as I mentioned, Cortez had a 9.9. Arkansas looking good on the vault right now. Back to the bars, Megan Morris, the freshman.
They're doing their job here on this event, too.
She scored as high as 9.9 this year on this event.
Super difficult, but solid from start to finish.
Quick update on their scores. 9.725 for McGregor. Sabrina Noonan had a 9.75. We saw that routine. Erica Watson a 9.875. Janae Cox a 9.85. Quickly over to the balance beam. Christine Robella from North Carolina. She was injured last week, had a sprained thumb, tore some ligaments in her thumb. So she, all week long, has been training with a cast on that right hand. You can see it's taped up here for the competition. She was questionable coming into the competition. They weren't sure she was going to be able to go. They were going to wait and see how she warmed up.
Solid scores so far for North Carolina on the balance beam. Low score of 9.5. The rest ranging from 9.7 to 9.75. Pretty good. Got to really point those toes hard in shoes. Giving away just a little bit in form there. Nice and solid on the front tuck. Boy, they are happy. Look at that. There's like, can you wait till I get off first? Woo! Nice landing on the dismount. They are having a great beam performance for them.
Outstanding. North Carolina on the beam. A lot going on here in Gainesville, Florida. The music is pumped up. Florida's on the floor, and Corey Hartung will be back when we come back. Welcome back to Gainesville, Florida. We're in the fourth and final rotation here in this quadrangular meet. Vault tends to go faster than the other events, so Arkansas is done. There are their scores on the vault, ranging from 2 9.7s up to a 9.9 for Cortez. Cassie Drew, the final performer, had a 9.875, so Arkansas finished big. Here is Courtney Bumpers now on the beam.
I'm sure she'd like to anchor this really strong balance beam performance.
Only one unfortunate score there. Michael Hester at a 9.5. The other scores in the 9.7 range. Christine Robella, we saw her with a 9.65.
Good adjustment on that landing out of the layout step out. Just took a step backwards to keep her balance.
Bumpers has scored as a high as a 9.875 on this event this year.
Little cover there. That's where the smile came from. Kind of over-rotated a full turn and just made it a full 1.25.
She'll do well as a lawyer, don't you think?
Yes.
She's good at selling her case.
Well, brilliant in the classroom and nicely done here on balance beam. Good difficulty on the dismount, double back.
Okay, there are the scores for Florida. All in the 9.8 to 9.85 range. Expected to just ride it out here with a big win. Corey Hartung.
Wow. Flexibility personified. Huge. That's like a rhythmic gymnast. Anybody know the sport of rhythmic gymnastics? Ultra flexible. And she is a twister. Some gymnasts are flippers and some are twisters. Her strength is in double and triple twists.
Recognize this music, Kathy.
I certainly do. One of my favorite floor routines. Way back in the, was that the 80s?
Yeah.
Whoa. Maybe early 90s. Maybe early 90s.
Into the early 90s.
Mitova of Bulgaria. Blew the world away with this routine.
Really interesting to see the maturity in the choreography. So many of these young ladies, when they're high school gymnasts, don't necessarily express themselves as well as they do when they get to the collegiate level. Of course, the routines are different and they're allowed to project a little bit more. There is a superstar in the making. Rhonda Fain knows it. She's just a freshman. Corey Hartung. Expect big things from this lady at nationals this year and What a future she'll have here at the University of Florida.
Watch this. Wow. Great flexibility. You got it, flaunt it. Tumbling is not her strength in terms of power, but she uses technique, throws in a double twisting front.
Hartung pleased with that performance. We'll catch her score. Here are the scores for West Virginia on the bars. We saw Megan Morris 9-9, Alyssa DeSantis a 9-8. So on their best event, West Virginia, a very respectable showing today on the balance beam, which is the pressure event. You can see the scores there for North Carolina, slightly lower overall. Courtney Bumpers 9.675 for that routine that we saw. Rhonda Fain says, well, we pretty much have this one locked up, but we got one more who will light up this room, Tiffany Murray. She's a sophomore. She said she came to Florida because when she met Rhonda Fain, she realized Florida is someday destined to win the NCAAs under Fain. She scored as high as a 9-9 this year on this event.
With power, you see the contrast in the different styles. More power in her tumbling. It's not better, it's just different. Every gymnast has their own qualities.
The score for Corey Hartung was a 9-9. So far, the lowest score on floor for Florida is a 9.8.
This is the best they've hit all year so far. I think Rhonda Fain's going to be happy with her team. They stayed in bounds.
That's right. Nobody went out of bounds.
Nobody went out of bounds.
That was
That's
one of their
huge.
goals. Every time you go out of bounds, it's 1/10 of a point. Plus, obviously, there are some deductions for technical errors when you have to take the step.
This is a big meet for them.
Randy Lane, the assistant coach there, along with Robert Ladani, the first-year assistant. And Rhonda Fain, that coaching staff has done a fantastic job.
The pressure was not on them in terms of winning the competition. They pretty much knew they would do that. What they wanted to do was correct past mistakes, fix little things here and there, be aggressive, be tough in competition, and start cleaning up little things. And they're doing that. They're on their way.
And the score for Tiffany Murray is a 9.925. Florida will get the win in this quadrangular meet tonight in front of a very appreciative crowd. 3,540 people in attendance. Not their largest crowd, but boy, their energy is impressive. When we come back, we'll show you the final standings. Florida will get the win. What about Arkansas, North Carolina, and West Virginia? Come on back. In addition to the team titles, there were also all-around awards given here. Courtney Bumpers with that spectacular 9.925 on the floor. Breanne King solid throughout, all of her scores between 9.8 and 9.875. Corey Hartung with a terrific 9.9 in the balance beam, earns her highest all-around total of the year to win the all-around competition here in this quadrangular meet. She's just a freshman and she's just getting started as a collegiate gymnast. Corey Hartung, an emerging star. And in the team competition, at home, Florida wins their season high by 35/100ths of a point. A terrific surprise for West Virginia, scoring more than 2.5 points above their season average, and they are in second. Here's Kathy with the winners.
Well, Rhonda, your Gators did it. I'm sure you'll say you want more, but you bettered your season high by .35. What's your thoughts?
It feels really good. They put it all together. Definitely the improvement we saw was what we wanted in cleaning up things, cleaning up the landings, and staying in bounds, especially on floor. So it was definitely a step in the right direction, and it's awesome. It's a good stepping stone for our 2 road trips coming up.
What were some of the special highlights in your mind?
Oh, that's tough. I would definitely say I think everything that Corey did tonight was just absolutely beautiful. I think that her beam routine, I was happy to see that it was rewarded for all of its unique skills and her flexibility. But also, you know, Tiffany Murray did a fantastic job with her. She's so quick and powerful on floor and vault. But it just seemed like everybody put everything together. So it's so hard to pinpoint one athlete. But I'm really proud of everybody.
Corey, your gymnastics is stunning. It's just absolutely beautiful. Can you compare competing? You come from an elite background. You were on the national team. What's the difference in competing in college?
It's definitely more fun doing it in college. You're more as a team and you do it together as a group. In club gymnastics, you're more on your own and you do it for yourself. So in college, it's more fun to cheer for each other and do it as a whole team.
You're just a freshman. What mark would you like to leave in collegiate gymnastics?
Definitely a good one.
Do you want to be unique? Because that's what you look like to me. Is that what you would like to leave in gymnastics?
Yes, definitely start out with a good, awesome freshman year, which I think I'm doing so far. So that's what I'd like to leave this year.
Great job, and good luck to both of you for the rest of the season. Back to you, Bart.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy, and congratulations, ladies. Let's recap the individual event champions. For West Virginia, with a 9.9, Megan Morris wins their only event title in this competition. Congratulations to her. And on the balance beam, it's a sweep for the University of Florida. In fact, the top 6 places all went to Florida. On the floor exercise, there was a tie between Tiffany Murray from Florida and Courtney Bumpers from UNC. Corey Hartung, a 9.9 in 3rd place. And on the vault, Tiffany Murray gets the title, this time all alone with a 9.925. What a terrific night of exciting collegiate gymnastics, featuring 4 of the top teams in the country: Florida, Arkansas, North Carolina, and West Virginia. We're glad you joined us for our coverage on ESPN2. For Kathy Johnson-Clark, I'm Bart Connor. Thanks for watching.